Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Let's get started. One person is dead, another is in critical condition tonight after police say a gunman opened fire inside a Fred Meyer store in Richland late this morning. Police say they've identified the gunman, but at this hour they're still trying to track that person down. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk is live at the scene tonight. And Kyle, what do we know at this hour?
Well, Mark, this Fred Meyer is still an active crime scene. We saw the coroner's van leave just a few hours ago. You can only imagine how frightening this must have been for everyone inside. At 1 minute, they're shopping for groceries. The next, they're running for their lives.
What happened in our city today was a senseless and tragic act.
A terrifying scene inside this Richland Fred Meyer store when a man with a gun opens fire, killing another man and injuring a store employee. Richland police say the first 911 call came in at 11:03. Officers were on scene within a minute.
One of the victims was obviously deceased inside the store. Officers carried the surviving victim to the store exit where Richland Fire was staging, and they took over life-saving measures at that point.
Customers and employees were evacuated and nearby schools were placed under a modified lockdown.
We have identified a suspect at this time. However, we cannot release the name right now due to ongoing active apprehension efforts.
Police are looking for this person. They say he walked into the store and started talking to another man before shooting and killing him. Police say the suspect then shot a store employee, sending him to the hospital in critical condition. The gunman is still on the run. Police have not said whether he knew the victims or what motivated the deadly attack. Richland police are getting help from dozens of law enforcement agencies, including the ATF, FBI, and the Spokane County Sheriff's Office.
Again, we want to assure our community that we're taking every measure to locate the suspect, and we will not rest until he's in custody.
And some breaking news at this hour. Richland police just released the suspect's identity. They identify him as 38-year-old Aaron Christopher Kelly. They say there's now a warrant out for his arrest for first-degree murder. Kelly is believed to be driving a silver 2005 Honda Civic with Washington license plate BXC 3305. Police say he should be considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, do not approach him. Just call 911. Police have also identified the victim killed as 38-year-old Justin Crumba. So some breaking developments here tonight. The Fred Meyer released a statement this afternoon saying their thoughts are with everyone affected today and that counselors would be available for employees. We'll continue to track this story as police still searching for that suspect. Reporting live in Richland, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
All right, Kyle, thank you very much. And we will continue to follow this shooting overnight. So be sure to watch Up with KREM tomorrow morning for any updates on this shooting. Well, new tonight, the city of Spokane prepares for a downtown parking makeover. They've announced a temporary time limit increase for some of their parking spaces. This comes after the city announced they'd be replacing meters and kiosks with the new ones. One of the big changes is that 43 downtown meters have switched from a 4-hour time limit to all day. Now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Spokane City Council member Jonathan BINGLE is proposing a resolution to block vaccine mandates in the city.
We could lose a lot of people, and so in a time when the city and certain departments specifically are incredibly understaffed, I would hate to see more committed and dedicated civil servants losing their job for any number of reasonable objections. And so for that reason I bring this
The
forward.
resolution would prevent the city from implementing vaccine mandates in any level of city government. The proposal comes after BINGLE was censured by the council for refusing to wear a mask in City Hall. No other council members spoke about this new proposal. Fellow council member Michael Cathcart said a vote on the resolution likely would not happen until the end of the month. The Washington Coalition for Police Accountability held a rally today in front of the Spokane County Courthouse. That rally was to protest efforts in Olympia to modify police accountability laws that were enacted last year. The coalition was joined by families impacted by police violence and Spokane Community Against Racism. The 3 bills the coalition are worried about would modify previously passed bills that required police to attempt to de-escalate situations before using force and set limits on when police could pursue suspects. Meantime, supporters of the bills say they would give officers more options and clarity on how and when to use physical force. The North Spokane corridor is supposed to allow for faster travel times and decreased traffic, but one Spokane neighborhood says it's left out of the quarter's promised opportunities. The East Central chair took his concerns all the way to the national level and contacted Pete Buttigieg, the U.S. Secretary of Transportation. The chair asked the secretary for more funding after they say the state denied them it. The chair of the East Central Neighborhood Council says his community will be damaged in a way similar to when I-90 split the community in two all the way back in the 50s.
I would predict, given the successes we're seeing here with our college graduates landing jobs, that 18 to 34-year-old group will also be very stable, if not grow.
A team of economists at Eastern Washington University is tracking the changes that we can expect as Spokane continues to grow. As we continue our Boomtown Week tonight, we take a look at the latest developments in Spokane County and what we can expect in the years to come. We'll share more about those developments coming up in just about 5 minutes. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them directly to your phone. All right, let's talk weather now. We saw pretty nice conditions today. The sun returned and was pretty dry. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick joining us from the Outdoor Weather Center tonight. And Thomas, also our sunset after 5 o'clock today for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, we were all raving about that in the newsroom today. We were seeing the sunshine, and of course we were seeing it for a little bit longer, just a step closer to spring now with those later sunsets. But we got clear conditions, not much happening weather-wise, a chance for some patchy fog to develop, really because a little bit of the extra snow that's been piled up into some of those mountains is melting because our temperatures got so mild today in the 40s in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, 51 in Pullman, 61 out of Lewiston. That is incredibly warm for this time of year, but we'll keep those conditions pretty much right where they are for a few days. As you look at tomorrow morning, about 32 degrees. Again, a little bit of that snow trying to melt means there could be some patchy fog, but doesn't look like it will be too much of a significant issue. And as we look ahead towards the weekend, mid-40s still in the forecast for Spokane, so we'll show you just how warm those temperatures might climb over the course of this week, all just in a few moments.
Sounds good, Thomas. Thank you very much. The parents of a 5-year-old who hasn't been seen for a year are facing new charges. 5-year-old Oakley Carlson from Grays Harbor County hasn't been seen in more than a year. Right now, her parents, Andrew Carlson and Jordan Bowers, are being held on felony child abandonment charges related to Oakley's 6-year-old sister. It is still unclear if the new charges are related to the investigation of the disappearance of Oakley. Neither Oakley nor any remains have been found. Both parents have pleaded not guilty to all charges. Their trial begins in mid-April. 5 states, including Oregon and California, announced plans today to lift statewide mask mandates in the coming weeks. This comes as COVID-19 rates decline and hospitalizations level off. Oregon's indoor masking rule will end on March 31st at the latest, they said. Meantime, in California, their indoor masking requirement could end next week for those who are fully vaccinated. No word yet from the state of Washington. A middle school student is safe tonight after a crossing guard saved them. Take a look at this video. You can see that car just failed to stop at the crosswalk here in just 1 second. There you go, right there. That crossing guard pushed the student to the side. Unfortunately, that guard was hit by the car, but is expected to be okay. The National Cathedral Bell rang 900 times today, marking 900,000 COVID deaths in the U.S. Over the past 3 years, the cathedral has observed each 100,000 deaths by ringing the bell 1 time per 1,000 deaths. Well, tonight, Spirit Week officially kicked off at the Spokane Arena for many high school basketball games set to play there this week. Tonight was the rubber chicken game. Lewis and Clark High School and Ferris High School basketball teams took to the court as fans tried to be the most spirited so they could show that they deserve to take home the prize, which is a rubber chicken named Chuck, of course. So a little later in the broadcast, we'll tell you who won that chicken and share more about tonight's big game. And that was KREM 2 News 10 out of 10, where you get more news in less time. But don't go to bed just yet. In just a couple of minutes, we will continue our Boomtown coverage with a look at the latest developments in Spokane County over the past few years. And coming up tomorrow morning, you've heard us say the word Boomtown, and some have asked what qualifies as booming growth. So we looked into the latest data from the 2020 census compared to the 2010 census. And you will see the bigger story the numbers tell about the growth and why we are facing the housing crisis we see today. That's coming up tomorrow on Up with KREM, an in-depth look at Boomtown by the numbers. We're back in just 90 seconds.